Theresa May had been hoping to finalise a Brexit deal this week, but already her plans appear to be going awry. An emergency cabinet meeting that was planned for today has reportedly been cancelled because of the deadlock in negotiations. Well, let's go straight to London, where Vincent McAviney joins us for the latest on this. Good morning, Vincent. Another crucial week for the British Prime Minister. What are her prospects like this week?
Good morning, Belle. Well, we say this at the start of every week, another key one for the British Prime Minister, but it really is now, because Theresa May had thought that a deal would be able to be put before the Cabinet at an emergency meeting on Saturday or today, but that has not happened due to an impasse with the EU. So there will be Cabinet tomorrow. The next 24 hours, she's hoping she can work through issues with the EU, particularly on fishing rights during the transition and then the backstop period, EU wanting to have their fishermen have access to British waters. The Prime Minister definitely not happy with that. And also who will have oversight of the mechanisms during the backstop period. The EU saying it should be the ECJ, but Theresa May knowing that'll be an incredibly hard sell for her own party. And it comes after a difficult weekend where the Prime Minister also lost one of her ministers, Jo Johnson. He is the brother of former Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson, and he's someone who, in a big letter and video statement he put out on Friday, said that this was going to be a huge mistake, comparing it to Suez and calling for people to once again have a vote on the Prime Minister's deal, the so-called people's vote, or a second referendum. So a difficult start for the week for the Prime Minister. She's hoping that she can get these issues resolved quickly, because if there's any chance of another summit by the end of this month, it needs to be sorted in the next 48 hours.
Well, meanwhile, Vincent, Jo Johnson's brother Boris, former Foreign Secretary, has been wading into the debate again. Tell us a bit more about that.
That's right. Boris Johnson has once again used his Telegraph column to attack the Prime Minister, indeed calling for a mutiny in her cabinet, saying that the deal is capitulation. It's the same thing again of him saying the UK becomes a colony of the EU, using very loaded language like that. And it is thought that there are splits in the cabinet, as there have been throughout this process, but it is apparently a number of Remainers who are deeply unhappy, threatening to resign if we are heading towards the no-deal scenario. They would follow Jo Johnson, of course, as I mentioned, Boris's younger brother, on Friday, in sort of registering this. But it seems at the moment that the Prime Minister, even if she can get this deal agreed in the next 48 hours with the EU and give it to the Cabinet tomorrow, she's going to have a very hard time getting it on through Parliament.